You had a great career no matter where you ran, whether it was at Waterford or Langhorne and other tracks as well. Any one memory stick out that comes to mind?
Yes, Gary, I started racing in 1953 here at the Waterford Speedbowl, and I did also frequent Plainville Stadium, and in 1954 I won my first feature up at Plainville, and I'll always remember that first win. And if it were not for Mo Guernsey, who actually helped me that day, if it were not for him, I would not have won. What happened is we started line up in the feature, and I think I was about 10th spot, and he was alongside, he was underneath of me. And we were talking before the race started, and I said, "Gee, Mo," I said, "you know, this lane is a couple of slow cars, you know, and whatever." And I said, "I don't know if I'm going to be able to get up through there." So he said to me, he said, "I'll tell you what," he said, "when they drop the green," he said, "I'm going to back it off a little." He says, "You shoot right down in front of me." He says, "I'll see you later, kid." Well, it worked. Went 25 laps and won it, and that was a good move, and you know, that's what it was all about.
Thompson Speedway, another track that you had a lot of success with. Talk about Thompson.
Thompson was a great track. I really enjoyed it. When they first started up there, it was like Sunday afternoons, and we'd go up there and race. I was driving the V4, of course, the Mystic River Marina V4, and we were quite successful with that car. I was with them for 6 years, running NASCAR, and it was a quick car. In fact, Bugsy and I, for, oh gosh, many weeks, ran 1-2, 1-2, and couldn't ask for a better driver also. I mean, he was just fantastic, and we had some good races. And I was fortunate enough to win the World Series up there, and a few other features. Really a great racetrack.
Some of the car owners through your history in auto racing, some names that come to mind that you had a lot of success with?
Oh, definitely. Gosh, I won races with 8 different car owners, for God's sake, and the list goes on and on. Some of the prominent ones, of course, was John Barnett in the Gold Scorpion 711, Bill Congdon in the 75 and the 76 car, and Bill always had a good roster of drivers, Billy Slater and Ray Moran and Dickie Beauregard, of course, and we ran team cars together also, Dickie and I. And I ran for Al Gadreau down in Martinsville with the Buddha Bullet. And gee, it just goes on and on. Of course, the Garbarino brothers with the V4, and Angie Cerise, I ran his car for him. I ran for Butch Ferretti up in Norwood, one of Hop Harrington's old cars. And God, there's too many to mention. It just goes on and on.
Talk about your injury that took you out of auto racing.
Yeah, that was just one of these things that happens, you know. It was a racing accident. I had come out of number 2 turn over here, and a fella got sideways underneath me and turned right, and he caught me in the left rear wheel, which catapulted me up onto the fence and rolled over, and it came up on its wheels, and of course it had knocked me out as my head had come out the window, and it caught a part of the fence and knocked me out. And then the car continued wide open throttle down the back chute and into the pit gate abutment down there, and I don't remember it. It's what they tell me. But I spent a few days in the crash house, and I had a lot of pressure from my wife. I was married at the time, and my parents to give up racing. So I decided to pack it in. They said you had nothing more to prove, and I wouldn't go back on my word. I gave up racing, and that's it, except for a few exhibition shows, you know, but competitively, that was it.
Talk about a special day like today here at Waterford Speedbowl, Nostalgia Weekend. You get to see some of the drivers that you ran against and some of the cars that you even probably competed in or ran against. That's got to be pretty special. That what they have done to continue remembering some of the old-time drivers, so to speak.
Yes, I just made a walk down through the cars here, and it just brings back a lot of memories, And yesterday we were here in the afternoon, and out in the parking lot as our usual tailgate parties we used to have after the races. And it was Pete, Bugsy, and Georgie Summers, Ronnie Bouchard, Gene Bergen, a whole bunch of guys. And it was just like old home week, you know. We had one story after another, you know. And then looking at these cars, and I competed against many of them, and it's quite memorable.
Well, Dick Watson, thank you so much for spending a little bit of time with us here this afternoon at Waterford Speedbowl.